Good morning. It is 10:30 a.m. and I'm calling this regular meeting of the zoning administrator to order. Looking at the draft December 18th, 2025 minutes. We are now taking public comments on those minutes for the December 18th, 2025 meeting. If you're attending in person and would like to make a comment on the draft minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing no one raise their hand, I will close the public comment and approve those as submitted. Non-agenda public comment. We are now taking public comments on item 3, non-agenda matters. This is the time when any person may address matters not listed on today's agenda, but which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the zoning administrator. If you are attending in person and would like to make non-agenda public comment, please raise your hand and wait for the recording secretary to give you the go-ahead.
Okay, great, thanks. Janice Carmen here. Good morning, everyone. I noticed there's a number of pools that are applicants here today. Now, I'm not talking about the pools, but I'm talking about something that I've witnessed myself. And this is, I don't know if there's a restriction, and I'm just hoping maybe by the end of the meeting that somebody addresses this, about applicants for pool, and that's where it begins, but then they don't necessarily build the pool. And then there's all these other buildings and structures that start appearing, and I've witnessed this. So this is why I'm asking. And with some of the things that have happened in zoning, like the gas station that ended up getting built, even though it was denied. And I'm not like trying to unequivocally deny pools at all, but I want to know, is there a restriction or a applicant date that says like you have to build the pool within 2 or 3 years, which I think is a reasonable time, because what we're having are people coming back much later and doing different things or different things about the pool or whatever it is. And it seems to be a toehold into a system of development that is on a single family dwelling that could be very controversial. So that's just what I'm bringing up today about the pools, that they seem to be the beginning of a lot of things that start to happen to the property.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody else attending and wishing to make a public comment on a non-agenda matter? Okay, seeing none, I will close the non-agenda public comment and read the zoning administrator statement of purpose. The zoning administrator is appointed by the Planning and Economic Development Director and has the responsibility and authority to conduct public meetings and hearings and to act on applications for minor or reduced review authority projects or entitlements. A determination or decision by the zoning administrator may be appealed to the Design Review and Preservation Board, Planning Commission, or City Council as applicable to the decision. All actions taken by the zoning administrator may be appealed within 10 calendar days. If the final day of the appeal period falls on a non-business day, the appeal period will be extended to the next business day. The zoning administrator report. We do actually have a zoning administrator report. Effective February 1st of 2026, the zoning administrator meetings will be relocating to the City Council chamber located at 100 Santa Rosa Avenue, across the street there where City Council and Planning Commission and the Design Review and Preservation Board meetings are held. And the regular days for the meetings will change from the first and third Thursday of the month to the second and fourth Thursday of the month, maintaining the same start time of 10:30 a.m. The change in days of the month is necessitated by the availability of the City Council chamber. We have no consent items, so we will move to the first scheduled item, which is a public hearing for a construction at 3606 Tillmont Way. Can we have a staff report, please?
All right, thank you, Zoning Administrator McKay. I'm just pulling up my presentation here. All right, good morning. My name is Suzanne Hartman, and I'm the project planner for this application, which is a new single-family dwelling with the pool proposed to be places in areas of a slope greater than 10%. There we go. So this is considered a minor hillside development permit application. So any development that is any undeveloped parcel that consists of slopes of greater than 10% and is proposed to be developed on usually has to seek approval of their development through this permit process. So that's what that's why they're here today. But again, it's for a new single family dwelling with a pool and some landscaping. This is the aerial view of the existing site. The house and pool is, for the most part, going to be towards the center of this property. And a lot of those trees that are kind of in that center there are proposed to be removed, but they are planning on replacing those trees with some new landscaping. And there are some existing oak trees towards the rear of that residence there that are proposed to be preserved. The zoning district is planned development, and the general land use designation is very low density residential. And the surrounding properties are also within the same planned developments and very low residential districts, which is mainly for low density single family dwellings. This is a rendering of the proposed house from the view of on Tillmont Way. This is the proposed site plan here. So as you can see, there's the house there and pool more towards the center, or I should say center rear, and all of the new landscaping that is there kind of being proposed to the front. I did have a condition of approval to make sure that at least a portion of those trees, since there are a significant amount of heritage trees being removed, that at least some of them are being replaced with trees that have the potential to grow into heritage trees. The project qualifies for a categorical exemption because it consists of one single family dwelling and a pool under the California Environmental Quality Act, section 15303. There was a request for a public hearing, and there are a couple of comments that were provided, which were a part of an attachment to this agenda. They were mainly concerning the construction, making sure that debris was being properly picked up, as well as just general questions about noise and construction hours. The applicant did let me know that they are planning their construction hours are proposed for Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. I also was proposing to add a condition of approval today at this meeting that the applicants should post a sign on site during construction that provides a 24-hour contact, or at least a contact number of either by the project lead or whoever's heading the construction, just so that if there's any concerns brought up with any leftover debris or anything like that from the site, that there is someone that person can contact. I'll also defer to the applicant for any further questions or responses to those comments about construction. The applicant has reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval, and staff analysis concluded that all findings can be met. I'm sorry, I'm just now realizing that for whatever reason, my screen is not working.
Try stopping and restarting your
Yeah.
share.
Open the zone, didn't notice. Let's see here. We have it. Great, okay. Thank you for your patience. All right. Just go all the way down again. Okay, so the applicant has reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval, and staff analysis concluded that all findings can be met. So it is recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator, by resolution, approve a minor hillside development permit to allow construction of a single-family dwelling with a pool located at 3606 Tilmont Way. My contact information is there on the screen if you have any questions. And the applicant is present. And I probably would just defer to them to answer that comment of concern of construction. But other than that, no additional presentation for this project is.
Okay, cool. The applicant is, you have any comments or anything you'd like to make?
Not much more to add, other than we will accept the condition to post a sign with somebody to be contacted. And the owner has agreed to work with the contractor to make sure any and all debris is picked up after the day during construction, and site and the road will be inspected by his contractor. Other than that, I think Suzanne did a great job.
Okay, great, thank you. Let's go do public comment. If you're in person and would like to make a public comment, please rise and wait for the recording secretary to give you the go-ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Janice Carmen, I would just like to have my question assigned or responded to before we leave today about the restriction around when the pool gets built. And I have concerns about pools, and the pools are when it's included in something else and there's no environmental impact report, which it didn't sound like there was for this, are floodplains and issues with the pool, since there's no other houses around or other houses that have pools. So I think I have a legitimate comment here. And if you're going to build a pool, it should be done within a certain amount of time. And I just want to know, do you have something in the zoning code about that?
Thank you. If anybody else is in person would like to make a public comment, please rise and wait for the recording secretary to give you the go-ahead. Okay, seeing no one else rise, I'll close the public comment and allow staff to respond to public comment if you'd like.
I would just add that for pools, I know that if it's being proposed and they have a permit, there is a timeline of when they can construct that pool. And if they don't meet that timeline, they would have to go back through the permit process. I believe it's 24 months, I think, for a permit to.
Good.
So
Thank you for answering that. I'd seen it floating around at some point, but I should
Sorry.
answer.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate that from staff. Yeah, I had just the questions about the public comments that we received, and staff and the applicant have responded to those questions and concerns. So no further questions. I generally, I'm sad to see trees go, but I think the addition, replanting of trees that could eventually grow into heritage trees is definitely welcomed, especially given their placement kind of at the front. And that would screen, you know, the new two-story building on a hillside area. Yeah, generally agree with staff's findings and appreciate the additional condition about the contact information, and we'll approve the project with the addition of that condition, and be happy to review that once that is presented to me for signature. Okay, so please note this approval is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within 10 calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, January 26th, 2026. Our next item is a public meeting for a child daycare center located at 4042 Sebastopol Road. Do we have a second, please?
So I'm the project planner for this application as well. So this is for Little Legends Learning Center, which is proposed to be a child daycare center located at 4042 Sebastopol Road. So, okay, there we go. The applicant is proposing about up to 30 clients around the ages of 2 to 5 years old, and the proposed hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is the aerial view of the site. So it's an existing church, and the daycare center is going to be sharing that same church building. The classes and everything related to the childcare will be happening at the rear of the building, as kind of pointed out there on the aerial view. This is a larger aerial view kind of showing the nearby properties, which is predominantly residential. The zoning district is R318, and the general plan land use designation is medium density residential. The R3 zoning district is intended for areas of the city appropriate for residential neighborhoods with medium and higher residential densities. And it also does allow some general commercial services and various commercial uses. A child daycare center is considered a general commercial service. And the project site does comply with the general plan designation, which states that childcare services should be located in and around residential neighborhoods. These are the supporting plans. So as you can see here, you see the area of the child care facility towards the rear of the building, with playground area also at the rear. The project has been found categorically and statutorily exempt from CEQA, otherwise known as the California Environmental Quality Act, further detailed in staff's resolution for the projects. There are no unresolved issues as a result of staff review. No public comments have been received for this project. Staff analysis concluded that all findings can be met, and the applicant has reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval. So it is therefore recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a resolution for a minor conditional use permit to allow a child daycare center at 4042 Sebastopol Road. My contact information is below, and we also have the applicant present in person if there are any questions. No other presentation is available. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would the applicant like to make any comments about this project?
Oh, just that we're excited to get our doors open. You know, we serve a lot of hundreds of families every weekend already on our normal services, Sundays and Thursdays. And so the Roseland community really needs, more daycare centers. And so we have big facilities, and so we're like, it's time to maximize it and kind of service some more families. So we got our license last week from the state in mail. So it's awesome to be able to start with 30, but we have capacity for about 85. So I think as time goes on, we'll kind of try to increase capacity through the state and stuff. But yeah, thank you, Suzanne, for helping through this process. It's been awesome.
Great, thank you. With that, let's go to public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment on this item, please rise and wait for the go-ahead from the recording secretary.
All right, go ahead.
Congratulations. I'm glad to see such a thing coming to Roseland. And I don't know if you know Dwayne DeWitt, but he's always over there really putting in a good word for Roseland. And you already qualified what my question was, and it was licensure with the facility that it's a church.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered if there was something that wasn't being cooperated with that had to do with the state. So it sounds really good, and it sounds like a good start with 30 families being able, or 30 children being able to use the facility. So I think it sounds like a very good project, and I support it.
Great, thank you. If anybody else is wishing to make a public comment, please rise and wait for the go ahead. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public comment. Yeah, I have no questions of clarification or specific concerns about this project. I think as the applicant mentioned, this is a pretty thoughtful kind of use of a space that might not ordinarily be in use and is a clear public benefit for the community. I reviewed the traffic study and there's a relatively minimal amount of increased trips as a result of this. And seems like most of the activities would occur inside with some playground stuff as well outside, and not really anticipated to be an impact to the neighborhood. So this is a good location for this and a good intensification of the church use. So with that, I have no further proposed conditions of approval and will approve the project. Thank you. Please note this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within town calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, January 26th, 2026. Our next item is a public meeting for a new in-ground pool at 595 Montclair Drive. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties with the laptop. So let's just take a 4-minute recess. And we'll regroup at that time. Hopefully we have our technology working again.
Yeah, so there's the 10-day appeal period. I don't think it's basically officially recorded. It's 10 days. I'll stand by the conversation to you.
Okay, I am recalling this meeting of the zoning administrator to order, reopening the meeting, resuming the meeting of the zoning administrator after some technical difficulties that seem to have been resolved. So this item is a public meeting for a new in-ground pool located at 595 Montclair Drive. Can we have a staff report, please?
Thank you for your patience. Hopefully, no further issues arise. So my name is Suzanne. I'm presenting for Jandon today for the Montclair swimming pool, which is a minor hillside development permit for a pool that is proposed to be placed within areas sloped of with slopes of 10% or greater. So it's an in-ground pool at the rear yard of this hillside property. This is the location of the property. This is kind of an aerial view there, so it's appears to be kind of like right on the outskirts of this neighborhood. The general plan land use designation is very low residential, and the zoning district is planned development. The surrounding properties are also within both planned development and low residential zoning districts, which all of these zoning districts accommodate single-family residences and accessory uses and structures. This is the proposed site plan. And as you can see here in kind of in the center of the page, there's the new pool being proposed. The project has been found categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act under section 15301 and 15303 subsection E. Staff has determined that all the conditions can be met, or all the findings can be met, and no public comments have been received for this project. The applicant has also reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval. So it is recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a resolution for a minor hillside development permit to allow for an in-ground pool at 595 Montclair Drive. And I do believe we have the applicant present for any questions. Thank you.
Great. Would the applicant like to make any comments?
No, it's a pool in our backyard. My kids are excited to play in it. That's it really. There's nothing much more to it.
Great, thank you. With that, let's go to public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment, please rise and wait for the
Is
go
it-
ahead from the recording
is it-
secretary.
Is it possible to revisit a picture, the picture of the pool?
Yeah, if you just request a slide, we can bring it up after public comment.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering what the other buildings were around. It went by kind of quickly, and I can understand that you have a house because he just said so, but he didn't say he has a house, but he says his kids live there, whatever. But it went quite quickly, and I couldn't understand what that picture was. So I'd just like to know more about that picture. But so it sounds like a family pool in a house, at a house, right? Okay. But it also backs up to the open space area, right? That's what it looks like. It's Santa Teresa. I was having a hard time and I couldn't really read the streets either. So that's why I was trying to figure out in my mind where this is located, because I'm very familiar with the area. But I just like to go back to the slide, please. Oh.
Great, thank you. Is anybody else wishing to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public comment and allow staff to respond to questions raised during public comment.
Yeah, I can pull up. I believe it was reference to the site plan.
Good plan.
And this isn't my assigned project. I am presenting for Janet, but I will hopefully be able to at least share here. Okay. Believe it's this one.
Mhm, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, so there is, I think it was kind of cropped out, but there is an existing residence at this property. And
So which part is it?
Ma'am, we're going to respond to the questions that you posed to the
Okay,
best of
all
our
right,
ability.
okay. Well, if she uses the arrow, I can follow it, but otherwise, anyway, so.
try to zoom in. If the applicant would like to
Better.
chime in as well.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to explain it if
Yeah.
helpful. So at the bottom of the image is our current house, which is the white space. So this is the house. The other, what look like structures is our back deck. So this pool is just right off our back deck in the existing backyard. is just our existing backyard. Then the open space you're talking about is beyond this at the top, kind of past that back. So you can see where the lawn is in the existing backyard and trees in the backyard. It's right off our back deck.
I assume there's an existing fence, like property line fence, so
That's right.
it's
There's a
within,
deer fence at the back, which signifies where our building lot ends, and then the open space is also part of the property. So it's part of our property, but it's not being built.
it's not being built in that space. It's within the fenced, already kind of existing
Exactly.
yard area. Okay.
Thank you very much to both of you, and because it really helps clarify it. I could not tell that
Great,
from the
thank you.
small.
So yeah, close the public comment. I did that and I have no further questions. I think this is a relatively straightforward application. I'm excited for you to be able to use your pool, and it seems like a very beautiful property and will be quite an enjoyable scene. I have no proposed conditions of approval. I appreciate staff stepping in at the last second to present the project, and I'll approve the project. Please note this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within 10 calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, January 26th, 2026. The final item on our agenda is another pool at 3773 Boulder Point. Can we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Zoning Administrator McKay. And again, the project planner is Janin Briscoe. His contact information will be at the bottom of this presentation, but I'm presenting for him at the moment since he wasn't able to present. So this is again for another pool at a different residence at Boulder Point, Boulder Point Place. Again, it's a pool that is located to be in sloped areas of greater than 10%, which triggers our minor hillside development permit application process. So this is just for the in-ground pool in the residence's backyard with some landscaping. There is already an existing residence. This is an aerial view of the property, as well as kind of the neighborhood there. This is just kind of more of a zoomed out view. The general plan land use designation is very low residential, and the zoning district is planned development. Again, both zones accommodate for single family and low density housing, as well as accessory uses and structures for single family residences. Excuse me. So this is just kind of a representation of the slopes found on this property. It starts to slope downward, starting from, I want to say, the kind of the driveway there towards the street. It just starts to slope downwards. The dark green areas are the areas or sloped areas on this property that are greater than 10%. And Janin wanted me to point out that the pool was originally kind of stepping into sloped areas of greater than 25%. So he requested the applicant to move their pool slightly just so that they were out of that slope percentage area. So the red square on the screen here is the location of the pool. And the kind of the outline was the gray outline that's kind of below there was where it was originally proposed. So he just kind of wanted to show where it was originally going and where it's being slightly moved to. So again, it's the red square is where the pool's location is. This is a conceptual landscaping plan for the pool. And as you can see here, there's some vegetation that's going to be kind of surrounding the pool area. kind of giving some nice screening for the residents as well as for the neighboring properties. The project has been found categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, otherwise known as CEQA, according to sections 15303, subsection E, and 15301. No public comments have been received for this project. Staff analysis concluded that findings for the minor hillside permit can be met, and the applicant has reviewed and accepted all conditions of approval. So it is recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a resolution for a minor hillside development permit to allow an in-ground pool at 3773 Boulder Point Place. And we do have the applicant present if there are any questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. The applicant like to make any comments?
Just thank Jandon.
Cool, thank you. Was this property affected by fires?
So the house is underway, the construction of it.
Okay,
And the pool submittal came in after the building permit application. It wasn't shown on the original plot plan, which is why I'm here.
got it. But the property was not ever affected by
No,
fires?
it burnt down and it's currently being rebuilt.
Got it. And there wasn't a pool at the house that was burned out?
No.
Okay, got it, understood. No further questions. Let's go to public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment, please rise and wait for the go ahead from the recording secretary.
I just wonder if there
Please
were,
wait for the
I'm sorry.
for the thumbs up. Thank you. Everything is slow today.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Janice Carmen here. I just wonder if there's any trees that survived the fire, and if there's any trees that are being cut down that have to do with the installation of the pool. That's it. But anyway, I'm happy you're rebuilding. I'm very happy you're rebuilding.
Great, thank you. Anybody else wishing to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment and allow staff and or the applicant to respond to public comment.
There's no trees that are being cut down. No.
They all came away.
They were it's pretty rocky, bare ground to start with. I don't think there were any trees even
Oh,
pre-existing the fire.
Okay. Yeah, all right, thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. This is seemingly another relatively straightforward pool installation project. I have no conditions of approval and no concerns. I like the addition of trees is always welcome. I think that will definitely improve the property. I can make all the required findings as noted in the draft resolution of approval, and we'll approve the project. So please note this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department within 10 calendar days of today's decision. For this item, that date is Monday, January 26th, 2026. That is our final item of this morning's meeting, so that our meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You know.